It was 1989, and my dad was running his own construction company. He was on the 805 freeway in the San Francisco Bay Area trying to get to his next appointment, but he was stuck in traffic. And as usual, my dad was probably praying a prayer, God, get me out of this situation. I've got a meeting to go to. Little did he know that a few moments later, the entire earth would shake, a 6.9 earthquake that shook the San Francisco Bay Area. He would have been on what is known as the Cypress structure. And that particular freeway, the second level completely collapsed onto the first level, killing dozens and dozens of people and smashing up cars. I've got a question for you. What's one thing that can change in a difficult circumstance, completely change the results without changing any of the circumstances? Perspective. You see, in this particular situation, my dad's perspective completely changed when he realized what took place. It wasn't a failure that he wasn't able to get to his meeting. It was a blessing that he was saved from ultimate disaster. We're taking a look this week at this whole idea of gratitude and how we can be grateful in all circumstances. My name is Trent Jenkins, and thanks for joining us for today's Daily Dose. I want us to take a look at 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18, and it says this: Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. I don't know about you, but this is a really hard verse for me. I don't ever really look at life's difficulties and think, oh, wow, God, thanks for putting that in my life today. Woo! I don't just shout for joy when these things happen in my life. I don't know, do you? But looking at this verse and looking at this reality, that if I shift my perspective, then all of a sudden the one thing that I thought was going to be the worst thing ever can be one of the best things ever. It's amazing what takes place when we shift our perspective and realize that if we really believe that God is God and He works out all things for our good, then it's a matter of, okay, God, how do I utilize this one situation for your good and my good? And when we switch our prayer and our perspective, everything changes. You see, God might be protecting you from maybe it's a situation that you don't want to be in. Maybe it's a relationship that you're just yearning for. And He's saying, no, I don't want that for you. That person has secret baggage in their life, and I don't want that in your life, but we yearn for it and saying, God, I'm going to thank you for whatever it is that you're protecting me from in this situation. Or maybe there's that difficult situation and you're being tested once again and it's like, why, God? And He might be just trying to increase that perseverance in your life so that when the next opportunity arises, people see that this person can go through awful situations and come out with character and integrity. I can trust them with anything. And without being tested, how can anybody look at your past history and say they can do it? Maybe He's setting you up for something incredible. And so we say, God, thank you. Thank you for this situation. So help me through it with integrity, with character. Help me represent you well. Or maybe He's staging you in this moment because you've already proven yourself and now other people can see what it is that you're capable of and what it is that God can do in and through you. I encourage you today, let's change the look of our perspective on what it is that we're facing. I love that simple story of Spencer Silver in 1970 when he was trying to create this unbelievable glue and he failed. He created this glue that wasn't sticky hardly at all. Could barely stick two pieces of paper together. Some years later, his friend applied that glue to a bookmark so that it would stick to the pages in his book. Of course, it became known as sticky notes for 3M. And what he thought he was wanting to do wasn't what he was intended for. I encourage you today, let's change our perspective and say, God, how can I embrace this instead of fight it? How can you use this circumstance instead of me pushing it away? Because I want to be used for your glory. Take care, everyone.